Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I wanted to do a video on everything that you need to know for a piercing. So if you're thinking about getting a piercing, this is what you need to know because my qualifications, I have a few qualifications. I have gotten 9 piercings. I don't have 9 on my face. I have less. But I have gotten 9 piercings on my face other than my ears, not counting my ears. My ears are different. I got that when I was a baby. I don't remember the pain. Um, but I have gotten pierced 10 times because we'll get into that. But I think that there's a lot to know before you get a piercing. And there's a lot that I wish I had considered before getting a piercing. I don't have regrets. I don't regret anything at all. I don't regret my piercings at all. But these are just some things to take into account if you're thinking about getting a piercing. Number one, the obvious pain. Pain, okay, oh my god. Let me rank my piercings from like 1 to 10, like on like the worst. I would say honestly. Also, let me show you guys which ones I have. So, I have this eyebrow piercing. I used to have the one over here. You can see the scarring, and we will talk about that later. But 2 eyebrow piercings. I had a bridge. I got that one pierced twice, rejected both times, and we will talk about that. I have the sides of my nose, this one and this one, and I actually just realized I kind of think I want to get new jewelry for that, but I don't really think there's super like fun jewelry for like the nostril one. So like if anyone has like any recommendations for like cool ones, like really like cool ones, let me know. Because I have never thought, I've like never even like changed them. I've never changed them. And I got these like, I don't know, like 2022, 2023. This one I got 2023. I think my eyebrows. Yeah, I think like 2023. And then I got my mouth ones 2021, which is crazy. They're gonna be 5 years old in like the fall. That's actually so crazy. I've had this for 5 years. The snake bites. And then I got my vertical labrae, I think May of 2023. And then my first piercing, besides my ears again, was my septum. I got my septum in 2019. I think summer of 2019. And then I got my bridge in 2022 at some point, like summer. It rejected because of the jewelry. That's another thing. I'm gonna add that to my list. I actually just remember that. We'll talk about that in a minute. That one rejected, and I think it was due to the jewelry. And then I got it redone in 2023 when it had scarred and healed, and then it rejected again. But we'll talk about. I have like a list that I'm looking at. We'll talk about all of that. But yes, those are my piercings. I don't think right now I'm gonna get any more. I've thought about getting my bridge piercing again, but I feel like that would be pushing it, and I feel like third time is just like pushing it. Like I'm just like asking for it to reject, you know? And then I've thought my most recent rejection was my eyebrow piercing. I think that happened like earlier this year, probably. I think it was very unfortunate. Or maybe late last year. I don't know. It was really unfortunate. That one migrated. So we'll talk about all those things. So I had a rejection. I had a migration. I don't think I want to get anything else right now. I've always wanted the cheek ones, but we'll talk about all that. We'll talk about all that. But let's start. That's my qualifications. That is my what's the word? My resume of piercings, if you will. But yeah, I don't think I want to get any other ones because like I might get like I thought about getting the eyebrow ones like in the middle. You know what I mean? Like here, but I don't know. Okay, first one, number one, pain tolerance. I personally think I have a lot of not a lot, but like a decent amount of tattoos. Like not even a decent amount. I feel like I want a lot more. I don't have a lot. I want a lot more though, but tattoos, to be honest, do not hurt in comparison to piercings. Like tattoos just feel like scratching. Like I feel like most of my tattoos have not really hurt. Piercings, however, I'm not gonna lie, they hurt. They absolutely fucking hurt. A lot. More than a tattoo. Like people always ask me like, "Oh, did your tattoos hurt?" And I'm like, honestly, like not really. And that's my honest answer. Not really. I'm not even trying to be tough. Like I think obviously like if you get like a bigger tattoo and like you're getting tattooed for longer, yes, it does. It doesn't even start to hurt. It just becomes kind of like, ugh, it's a lot. You know what I mean? but it doesn't even like, it's just hard to explain. It's like a whole other video. But like piercings, it's a different kind of pain. I'm not kidding. It's like a whole needle, like a literal needle going through your skin. And that is also, I'm not gonna lie, that's also why I don't want any more piercings, because it genuinely actually hurts. Um, and I feel like I'm done. Like 10 piercings, I've gotten 10 piercings. I don't want to do that anymore. And I don't think that there's any piercing that I'm like, ooh, like I want to get it. You know what I mean? And I sometimes just like forget that I even have piercings. To be honest, like I genuinely just forget that I have them, which is why I was like, right now I was thinking, I was like, what video should I do? And then I was like, thinking like, what can I talk about? And then I was like, I looked like in the mirror and I was like, oh, I have piercings. Like, I guess I could talk about that. Like, I was like, oh yeah, like I have piercings. Like, okay, I'll do that. But yeah, pain tolerance. Take into account your pain tolerance, because the last thing you want is like you passing out or something. And that's another thing, is before you get a piercing, make sure that you eat enough at least, and you're hydrated and you drink water. That is how you should go into your appointment. Hydration, drink water, eat something. If you're someone that you think like you're scared, like you're gonna pass out or something, like, you know, definitely have like iron, electrolytes, stuff like that, and take into account your pain tolerance. And also like, because the last thing also that you want is to like, you know, kind of like, it's okay to get scared before, but if you're there for like 30 minutes, like in front of your piercer, just like, I can't do it, then like, you know, think about that. You don't want to inconvenience your piercer by sitting there for like 30 minutes, just like wait, like not wanting the needle to go through. Because especially when you do them in pairs, when you do things in pairs, like for my snake bite, for example, for my snake bite, that was the first piercing I got in pairs, and I completely forgot that like when I got the first one done, I was like, oh my god, yay, I'm done. And then I was like, oh my god, I forgot I had to get the other one done. And that one, the second piercing, hurt terribly, like terribly. And it was because I think I was just like, I wasn't expecting it, and like it just kind of caught me off guard. And I think getting one piercing, great, but I think getting two is kind of like at once. It's kind of like crazy. Like the second one always hurts. When I got my eyebrow piercings, I got them at the same time. The second one hurt hella, and I think it's just because like you just went through the first one, you think it's like done, and then you like know what to expect, so then there's not that element of surprise, and so then it just like hurts more. I don't know, the second one always hurts more for me, except for my nostrils. My nostrils were like pretty equal, but the nose piercings, okay, that's another thing. Nose piercings are always going to be easier. Like all my nose ones did not hurt. I also hear, I don't have any on my ear because I'm kind of not, I don't want to get, what are they called? I think they're called keloids. uh Keloids are very common when it comes to ear piercings. A lot of people that I know who got ear piercings, like up here, like at the top of their ear and stuff like that, or even just like any other ear piercing that's like not like the standard one, they often get keloids, and keloids are a whole different thing. So keloids are, I forget what it's called, like what it is, but they're basically just like bumps that are just kind of really hard to get rid of. And I have like friends who literally have like huge bumps. There's people out there who have like huge bumps on their ears that they have to get like surgically removed. So that's a whole other thing. And that is why I don't want to get ear piercings, because I'd rather just not risk it personally. I would love to, they look cool. And I say all that to say that ear piercings actually are not um that painful, I've heard. Most people that I've talked to, they're like, oh yeah, it's not painful. It's actually like probably like the least painful piercings that they have. So there's that. Not that bad on pain. I can't really speak for that because I don't know, but that's what I've heard. It's just also, it's very easy. The reason why keloids are so common in like infections and things like that is because your hair, it gets caught in your hair, and then also like when you like lay down or like rest your head or even just like go like that, like it's like a whole thing, right? So that's why I don't get it. And also I have long hair, so it would cover it anyway. I don't really put my hair up very often, so it feels like I'd put myself through pain for no reason. Anyway, yeah. Number two, I would say try to look into like reviews of your piercer. I think that that's something to take into consideration too. Definitely, I've, for every, almost like every piercer, not all of them, but almost all of them, I have like looked up the piercers like on Yelp and looked at reviews and stuff. I think that's something you should take into consideration, because you don't want someone who does not know what they're doing. And it's better to be safe than sorry, because yeah, I just think that you should like look it up and take that into consideration, and definitely look into like if they follow protocol and like sanitization. I'm very big on sanitization. I think that's important, like, you know, gloves, washing your hands, like all that. Those are all things to take into consideration, because at the end of the day, a piercing is like a wound. It's something that, you know, it's yeah, like you need sanitization. I can't even say it. Like, fuck. But anyway, number three, and by the way, my points are all over the place. I just like wrote them down as I was like thinking about them because I was like, what would I need? Like, what would I want to know? What would I need to know? What would I want to know? Like, right? Three, there's a specific metal. I think it's, I looked into it. I think it's stainless steel. That's what it's called. I could be so wrong, but like definitely look into it. Basically, do not get anything that is not like, I think it's like metal or steel. Just basically like standard like this when you first get your piercing. Because I at first when I first got my snake bites, I really wanted black hoops. I don't know why. I kind of grew out of that, but I really wanted them when I first got it. And the guy, and this is why it's important to have someone who like knows and is like certified and like, or not certified but just like, well, yeah, certified, but like also just like knows their stuff and like practices like safety standards. Because he was like, I told him I wanted like the black hoop earrings and he was like, or the hoop piercings, and he was like, no, you should get like these first, and then once they heal, you can do whatever you want. And I was like, okay. And I was like, yeah, like that sounds good. So yeah, don't do like anything with like color. I know that there's like different color ones, there's different like designs and stuff. For all piercings, get the standard like these. Like I don't know, I think it's called stainless steel or something. Like that. Like all of this. Get all that. Like, or no, get that. Yeah. Make sure you do that because basically anything else can kind of like mess with the healing. You're gonna have trouble healing it. It's really important. It's really crucial. Like again, think about it. Really, really think about it. A piercing is literally a wound in your skin. Imagine having a wound, a fresh wound, like on your arm, and you just put some like plastic in there, or you put like a freaking like something you're not supposed to. Like think about it that way. Okay, be nice to your piercings. Genuinely, be nice to them because you don't want them to be mean to you. Trust me. So also number four, sizing. What did I mean by that? I just wrote sizing. I put four, sizing. What the hell? I think I skipped one. Oh, I did skip one. But sizing, what do I mean by sizing? Oh, I think, oh, I know what I mean. Um, Proper size of the jewelry that you use. That's the word I'm looking for. Jewelry. Yeah, jewelry. Because I think for the most part on all of them, they've all been, oh, actually, most of them have been good. When I first got my snake bites, okay, so here's the thing. Let me backtrack. When you first get a piercing, there's a high chance the piercer will put jewelry that is bigger than it should be. The reason for this is because it will swell. And when it swells, if you have jewelry that's too small, what happens is like your skin will like absorb it basically, and it'll swell more. It'll get very irritated. You'll get like irritation bumps because it doesn't have room to swell. It'll be uncomfortable, so it'll just cause problems. So for this reason, a lot of piercers, majority of them, should and will put bigger jewelry. In the case that they don't do that, you can always, if you have a problem where it swells too much and it's causing you problems, you can always go back for them to give you bigger jewelry. But it's just best to do it as soon as possible, like when you first get the piercing, because then what happens is like you really want to leave your piercing alone as much as possible. And we'll get into that later too. But if you, for example, get jewelry that's too small and then it swells up and then it causes problems, then you go to the piercer and they put bigger jewelry, they have to go in there and like do things and like take it out and like fix it and like touch it, and like that alone can irritate it too because they're playing with it too much. So for example, for me, when I first got my jewelry, but on the other hand, you can also have the opposite problem where the jewelry is too big and then eventually when the swelling goes down, and if you don't go to change it out, it can cause you problems too. So there's problems everywhere, honestly, but my problem, I had the opposite problem. My problem was I got big jewelry with good reason because it did swell. It got really, it got like it swelled up. It swelled up, and I was having like irritation bumps and stuff like that, and just like problems. Like it was like really nasty. So I went to the piercer, and I was like, "Hey, I'm like having these problems," and he was like, "Oh, you need to size down. Like it's good you came. You need to size down. So you either need to size if you're having problems." In the early stages, chances are you have to size up or size down depending on the jewelry that you were given. For me, in my case, it was big, so I had bigger jewelry. But that's important though. Like usually I would say you would want to go bigger than smaller because you can always go back and change it, you know? Whereas like if it's smaller, if you get smaller jewelry, the problem gets worse before it gets better. You know what I mean? Like I don't explain it, but I think just go for bigger jewelry so that your skin can like breathe and like be happy and like have a space to swell. Anyway, I went back to the piercer and he was like, yeah, let me like size you down. But the thing is, um, he like changed the jewelry out. It hurt like hell. It hurt like hell. It was being stubborn. It was a whole thing, okay? And yes, it hurt really bad. So that's another thing. Again, pain. Keep in mind that there might be little problems here and there. You have to deal with it. You have to be responsible and grown enough to like deal with these issues, because for me, I'm very lazy. I don't like dealing with things. I don't like it. I'm lazy. I think that it's important to like get yourself to get up and go to the piercer and like know, hey, something's wrong, and be like, hey, can you like fix this for me? That's another thing. It's like you have to be like a little bit responsible, because the last thing you want is like some like bloody piercing, right? And that's another thing. Like there was blood, like it was gross. Like be prepared for all these things, because that can happen. And he like sized it down, but it hurt so bad, and it felt like getting pierced twice as strongly again, like when he was like putting it through. It was because it was a fresh wound, and it's like it was unhappy. It was very unhappy. But that being said, sizing down did help significantly. With my bridge piercing, I never sized down the first time I got a bridge piercing. I regret that, because I sometimes wonder if I had sized down, would I still be able to keep my piercing? I don't know. But I actually think the piercer pierced it too much on the surface as well. um but yeah, so I had to size down my bridge piercing, but even then, the second time around when I sized down, it was just like it was a whole thing. It was a whole thing, but it was really painful. Just keep that in mind. It will be painful. It will be pain. Just pain after pain. Um, Also, another thing to take note is that healing time will vary. Like, I remember I was really concerned because my mouth piercings were taking longer to heal than I expected. Um, it took longer, but it got it done. I don't know how long it took, but I feel like most sites were like 4 to 6 weeks, and I took way longer than that, but it healed. It eventually healed. On the other hand, we'll get there. I want to go in order because I don't want to forget anything. I just burped. Number two, which I skipped earlier, they might reject. So I kind of like talked about this. Yeah, bridge piercing. My bridge piercing rejected, and I got it pierced twice. It rejected both times. The bridge piercing is one though where you either have the anatomy or you don't. I was told I did by both piercers, so maybe it was more just a thing of like, or actually, I think the second piercer said he didn't know, but actually, I don't remember. But like, I think I did have the anatomy for it, but also I don't know. It's also one of those things where you don't know until you get it pierced, and then it rejects, and then you're like, I guess I did not have the anatomy for it. It might just be one of those things. But yeah, it rejected, unfortunately, and I was so sad. It was really gross. Again, I had irritation bumps. It was so gross. I remember one time I was working at Build-A-Bear. This memory just like came to mind. I was working at Build-A-Bear, and I was like almost crying because there was literally just like pus coming out, and it was like gross. It was bloody, and I was like working with like kids because I was like working at Build-A-Bear, and I went to my manager and I was like crying, and I was like, I need to go. I was like, I think I need to go. Like I literally was like stuffing a bear, then I stopped because I could feel it. Like it was like warm. Again, be prepared for all these things. I went to my manager and I was like, I need to go, please, I need to go. And I was just like really upset. And he was like, yeah, you can go. Like, it's okay. Like, you can have the day off. Like, it looks really bad. He literally looked at my face. I was like, you can go. Like, that looks really, really uncomfortable and like gross. And I was like, yeah, like thanks. And I went that day to get my piercing checked. And they sized me down, but it's still just, it did not make it. It did not make it. And yeah. So I tried everything, but it might reject. That's another thing. It might reject. There are certain piercings that are more prone to rejection, though. So the bridge one is a very common one. Eyebrow ones, we'll talk about those, are very common. Eyebrow piercings are like piercings that never really heal. There's some piercings that never heal. Eyebrow piercings, I would say, is one of them. Bridges could be one of them, but I've seen a lot of people with very successful bridge piercings. But I think it's common for them to reject as well. Um, Cheek piercings, I have met some people with cheek piercings, and every single one of them has said, yeah, they don't heal. They never heal. Sometimes I have to like take them out. Also, the smiley ones, the corner of your mouth, those are really cool. Oh, those are really, really cool. The ones, I think they're called shark bites up here. Those are really cool too. I want them, but I just can't do it anymore. I can't do anymore. I'm sorry, but it tempts me. Like the ones like right here. I think they're called smileys. Oh my God, I would love those. I really do. I actually had a friend that got them. I think they had to take them out. I just remember that they had to take them out because again, it rejects. They have a high rejection rate, but they look cool. Like if you're into that, like they look cool. I would love to get the ones where it's like this, but like up here. I think they're called shark bites or like vampire bites or something. I would love those, but I don't want to get more. I can't do it. The pain would be too much. I would love to get the ones here. I think they're called smileys. So cool, but or no. Smiley is the one that goes inside, huh? On the inside. I think that one causes problems too. Oh, that one causes gum issues. That's another thing. Teeth and gum issues. So I'm very highly aware that these my snake bites will absolutely at some point cause teeth issues, gum issues. Do I care? Sure, but it's more of a thing where it's like I'll cross that bridge when I get there. What am I gonna do? Take them out? Like I don't know. But that's another thing to take into consideration is like that can happen. Yeah, cheek piercings have a high rejection rate. They also just like never heal. You bite them a lot. Tongue piercings I hear heal very easily. I would love a tongue piercing, but the tongue's so squishy. I just don't want something to go through it. Like I don't know. Like it scares me a little bit. I love it though, and I love how people. What the hell? Sorry, I was like reading something. Um, yeah. Okay, moving on. Ooh. Okay, so number five, going back on like jewelry. When getting mouth piercings, don't get hoops when you first get them. So I actually got very lucky, thank God, because I did not know. I when I first got my snake bite piercings, I really wanted hoop earrings, like or hoop jewelry. I like that's all I wanted. I was like, I need the hoop jewelry. And so I went into it. And my piercer was good, but he didn't tell me about this because I was like, I want hoop jewelry. And he was like, okay, like you can do hoop jewelry. I got the hoop jewelry. Then I went home and I was having some problems. As I told you guys earlier, I was having some problems. So I was like looking into it like online. Everyone online, like on like Google was saying like you should not get hoop piercings when you first get um snake bites. And I was like, oh my God. And that's what I mean. It's like, do research, look into it. I got hoop jewelry. Do not get hoop jewelry. You can get hoop jewelry for like mouth piercings at some point, but not immediately because it does tamper with the healing. And that did happen to me. I was having problems with healing. I think my healing process would have been a lot easier if I had gotten just like the bars, but I did have a lot of problems. Like it was very, very gross. Again, thank God it healed and they're fine now. And I was able to keep my hoop jewelry because I literally love it. But there's someone on a scooter outside and it's like midnight. It's like past midnight. Anyway, yeah, so don't get hoop jewelry when you get piercings like this, guys. Okay? Do not do that. Make sure to get the bars and look into the jewelry for like any other piercing. For like any other piercing that you end up getting, like make sure you look into the jewelry and do research because it's just like, you might be all right, it might heal properly, but it's just best to avoid it because it's actually really fucking annoying. And it's like annoying to just like deal with the constant stress of like, will this heal? Will I have to take it out? Should I take it out? I don't know. Okay. Like just try to like do your research. Anyway, which you are doing right now if you're watching this. My next one, can reject, can infect, can migrate is what I wrote. So yes, rejection, we've touched on that. It can reject. There's always that possibility. It'll reject. Your body just does not like it. Your skin either likes it or it does not. That's just sometimes it's just as simple as that. Sometimes it's not. You could do every single thing properly, correctly. Sometimes your skin just does not want it, and that's that. Sometimes your skin just is unhappy, and that's another thing is I'm very big on respecting what your body wants. When I got my bridge piercing and I rejected, I was very upset, but at the same time I was like, you know what, body, I like you. You know what, skin, I like you, I respect you, and I respect the fact that you don't want this. I'm gonna take it out. You're upset. I have a lot of empathy for my skin and my body, and it's like, you know what, like, you're telling me you do not want this. So I'm gonna take you out. And that's another thing. You have to like have some sort of like respect, like shake hands with your body sometimes. Just be like, you know what, you don't want this. I want it, but you don't want it clearly. And it's upsetting you. I'm going to respect you because you're giving me a warning. It could get worse. You could let it get worse, but you're not. You're just telling, you're giving me a heads up. You're saying, hey, like, I don't like this. Here's pus. Here's blood. I'm screaming, get me out of here. Get this out of here. I don't want it. So respect your body. If it's saying take it out, because it can get worse. There have been, if you leave an infection, there's like horror stories of people having like developing like bigger problems because they ignored an infection, right? Respect your body. That's another point. Number 6, number 7, I don't know. Like, respect your body, listen to your body, listen to the signs it gives you. Try to work with your body though. Like, definitely if you think you're getting like an infection or something, try some different things, wait it out, but respect your body. Like, that's my thing. It's like, I respect my body respects me. My body has been nice enough to allow me to have the piercings that I do have, and I'm very grateful for that. Did not want the bridge piercing. I just burped. Did not want the bridge piercing. That was sad, but it was like, okay, body, I'll let you have this one. You win this time. Yeah, in fact, so that's another thing. Learn the difference between rejection, infection, and migrating, because they all look different. Also, irritation bumps, because I see people use these words interchangeably, and I think you really need to learn the difference between these things, because it will save you time and stress and worry and anxiety. There is rejection, infection, migration or migrating, and irritation bumps. A lot of time people have irritation bumps and they think that means they have an infection. I could be wrong, so look into it more. But in my experience as well, an irritation bump does not equal rejection or an infection. Now, what an irritation bump is, it literally is just like a bump. It's just a bump. It'll usually be on the side of it, or it'll be like around the piercing, It can look differently. It's essentially just a bump. What that bump is, and I've had these a lot, irritation bumps is just it's your body speaking to you. It is just saying, hey, I'm irritated. That's all an irritation bump is. Hey, I'm irritated. It's a warning, okay? I would say an irritation bump is like, it's like getting like a yellow card in class. It's like, it's a warning. It's like, you take care of something. There's something wrong here. And I would say, if you get an irritation bump, you shouldn't even be scared. You should just know that something has to be changed. If you are doing something, do not do that thing. If you are not doing something, start doing something. Okay? An irritation bump is just a warning, is how I would explain it, because there were times where I thought I had like an infection or something. I did research and it was like, no, it's just an irritation bump. An irritation bump is your skin/body saying, I'm irritated. It's like raising awareness. It's like letting you know, I'm irritated, do something or don't do something. And so sometimes it can just be as simple as your jewelry, the sizing. If it's too big, it's a lot of movement, it causes friction and your skin gets irritated. So then that's when you need to change the sizing, or get smaller jewelry, change the sizing. If you have the wrong type of material, get a different material. If you are doing a lot of and I'll talk about this later, if you are doing a lot of things to your piercing, like adding a lot of solutions, doing a whole bunch of like oils, which you should not be using, to be honest. You should not be using oils, especially not in the healing process, unless you have like a keloid and you're trying to get rid of it. That's different. But if it's in the healing process, don't do oils. If you're adding a lot of different things to try to clean it and stuff like that, I'm not gonna lie, and you get an irritation bump, stop doing all that. One thing that I think I would do differently is adding so much stuff to my piercings when they were healing, and I was just using wound washes and things that were recommended by Google. I did my research and it was things that were recommended, but I later found out about this method It's literally called, and this will be my next point. The next point is litfa, which is leave it the fuck alone, or leave it the hell alone, whichever. It's a very common thing I see amongst piercers online. Leave it the fuck alone. That's the best treatment. Leave it the fuck alone. Don't add anything to it. Don't move it. Don't touch it. Don't try to just leave it the fuck alone as much as possible. Because at the end of the day, again, imagine getting like stabbed, getting someone coming up to you and stabbing you in the stomach. And then you start just like adding like oils and shit, and you start like adding a bunch of different like things when it's like you don't even know how to treat it, you know? Which obviously that's like a very bad comparison. If you get stabbed, you should definitely go to the hospital. But like, you know what I mean though? Like you just start like adding things, you start playing with the knife, like you're it's gonna hurt, it's gonna annoy you, it's gonna be fucking annoying, like, you know? So leave it the fuck alone. Leave it the fuck alone. Um and I'm not gonna lie, again, this is just from me and I'm not saying just ignore your piercing and don't clean it. I'm not saying that. But I do think that in my experience, when I had irritation bumps and I stopped using the things that I was using and I stopped like cleansing it with like stuff, my irritation bumps went away. Like I had a lot of trouble with my piercings and I changed the jewelry, the sizing of it, and then I stopped using what I was using. I was using like a wound wash that was like piercer approved or whatever. And I think it's like called like a saline spray or something, saline solution or something. It's been a while since I've taken care of a piercing. Sorry, but I was like spraying my piercings with that every single day. And once I stopped, because I was like, I kept having problems. I was like, you know what, let me stop to see if it works. Because I found out about the LIFA method. I stopped and it healed so quickly. Like after a month, it healed completely. And I think that, and then for my Labre, I didn't do anything to it. I just left it alone. I literally just left it alone. And it healed properly. It healed perfectly. So I think I'm a fan of Litfa, but again, if you're doing Litfa and you're having problems, maybe try doing something and so on. But at the same time, Litfa also is rooted in the belief that like your body knows what to do. It knows how to like heal and like help itself. And I think that's why, again, trust your body, listen to your body. Is listening to your body is very important. And I do believe in I do believe in the Litfa method because like for me it worked. And also I just do think that like the body knows what to do. But again, if that does not work for you, start cleaning it, start cleansing it, look into that. But irritation bumps are different from infections. Infections, here's the thing. I always see people, like, I'll sometimes see people, like, online be like, I have an infection. Or, like, people that I meet in person, they're like, oh, my piercing's infected. Like, what can I, like, they'll ask me for, like, their advice. And I'm like, it's not infected. I'm like, do you have pus coming out? Because here's the thing. I feel like if you have to ask yourself, do I have an infection? I think you don't. Because you will know when you have an infection. You will know. Because when I had an infection with my first piercing, oh, I knew. I had pus leaking down my face. I had pus and blood. You know, like, you'll know. I think you'll know. Not to say ignore it and assume you, like, just obviously use discernment and like whatever. I'm not gonna sit here and say like, no, you don't have an infection. Maybe you do. Get it checked out by a piercer. Don't listen to me. Go to a piercer. But also like know the difference between different things. Irritation bump is just a bump and it's a warning. Change something. An infection, it's not too good. You might have to take it out. You can try to see if you can fix it. There's some hope, but chances are you will have to take it out. Migrating. I think rejection and infections actually kind of go hand in hand. I think an infection, yeah, because an infection happens when your skin's rejecting it essentially. But I think they're different actually. I don't know, but migrating. Oh God, migrating. I was a victim of migrating, yeah. So, it happened to my eyebrow piercing. And the thing with migrating is, like, you don't know it's happening. I feel like for me, like, I didn't even realize it was happening because I got my eyebrow piercing in 2023. And it just snuck up. It just snuck up to me. Like, I think earlier this year is when I had to take it out. Earlier this year, or I think it was earlier this year. I was, like, looking in the mirror. And I have two of them. And so I was like, why do I feel, I was looking at this one and I was like, it looks different than this one, first of all. But second of all, I was like, why am I seeing more and more of the jewelry? Because at first it looked like this, where I was only seeing like a part of the jewelry. But then I literally like looked at my piercing one day and I was like, holy shit, what is happening? Why did this happen? And I literally saw like basically my entire jewelry. And then I looked at the skin and it was just like a little like a skinny little piece of my eyebrow like skin, and I was like, oh my god. I was like, it's migrating. I was like, I'm scratching my back. I was like, it's literally migrating. I was like, oh my god, this is crazy. Because I was like, it looks crazy as hell. Because like in the moment, I was like, fuck, this sucks. I have to take it out now. But also, I was like, holy shit, like the fact that like this happened is crazy. Like I didn't notice it. That's crazy. I was like, I need to pay more attention. First of all, but second of all, I was like, what the fuck? Migrating is basically when the piercing, the jewelry just like moves. It just moves, and so it happens on more like surface level piercing. So like again, eyebrow. Oh no, eyebrow and bridge usually, and I don't know what else, but surface level piercings because it's already on the surface. It's very close to the surface. The skin is already very like tight and like not there's not much to work with, you know, like it's not like meaty, right? So there's a higher chance it just starts to like move on its own. And my migrating is kind of like rejection in a sense too, I think, because it's kind of I don't know, but it's kind of like I want to go. Like it's literally just being like I want to leave. I have an idea, let's leave. Like that's basically what your piercing is saying. It's like I want to leave, I want to go, I don't want to be here. Like that's basically what it's saying. So when my grading happens, for me, I caught it at not a good time, honestly. I could have caught it sooner. Um, Also with migrating, there's basically no way to save it at that point at all. Like there really isn't. You just have to take it out. The sooner that you catch it, the better. I caught it. I mean, it still could have been worse. I could have caught it at worse. Worst case scenario would have been that it genuinely just rips through the skin. That's the worst case scenario, and it rips through the skin, and then you have just like loose skin. That's the worst case. So I caught it before that, which is good. You know, it was still pretty bad. I will say. I was looking at it, and there was literally like a huge hole. Like the piercing was supposed to be like the size, just like the size of like the tip of a pencil. You know, it was huge. It was like I could see it. The fact that I could see it was concerning. Still could have been worse though. I could have literally just broken through the skin. Um, so I think just remember it could always be worse, like genuinely. But yeah, so then it's left like a lot of scarring, but I don't really mind it. And that takes me to my next point, actually. Scarring is a thing. If it rejects, it's gonna scar. If you have really any problem with it, it's gonna scar. Even if nothing happens and it's fine, you're gonna have a hole for the rest of your life. It's another thing. So just know that you're gonna have a hole for the rest of your life. I actually think some people do experience like closing after some time. Some people I think I've read about that, but I think for the most part, some people they have holes forever. That's not something that bothers me. So if it bothers you, take that into consideration. Does not bother me though. I don't really care. Um, like I have scarring here. I have scarring on my like right here. Don't really care. It doesn't bother me. I genuinely do not care. So that's something that you have to like really take into account though. And like for me, I don't care. I think it's cool. But there's people who it genuinely bothers them and they try to do oils and they try to like look into things to like get rid of it. And I'm sure that maybe it's possible to get rid of it. I don't see why. I mean, I think it's hard to get rid of it completely, but there's probably things to like make it look less scarred. Um, so again, if it bothers you, that's something to take into consideration because when you get a piercing, like eyebrow piercings, for example, there's a high chance it will reject, or there's always that possibility. And when that happens, are you ready to deal with the scarring of it? Think about that because it can happen, and it very much can. They're high risk for like rejection and things like that. I, like I said, don't care. I don't care. You can see it like right there. There's like hair, like there's like a gap in the hair. Um, yeah, I don't care. Does not bother me. There's some people who hate it, absolutely hate it on them, and I'm like, I don't care. I think it's cool. Like it looks cool. Like people know I had a piercing there. You know what I mean? Like I want people to see it. You know what I mean? Like I just don't care. I think it's cool as fuck. Um, ooh, another one, jobs. So for me, I have a job where they don't care, but a lot of jobs do care. When I used to work retail, let me think about my retail. I worked, there were some jobs that did not care. There were some that did care. The ones that do care, depending sometimes like on the managers and stuff, they might let it slide and just tell you when like, another manager's coming in or like the district manager's coming in and things like that. Um, for mouth ones, you can wear a mask. I think when I had my bridge piercing, I would wear glasses. I think that was something that they had me do. It was like a whole getup. I had to have like a whole thing. Um, yeah, I think the glasses, they were like, if it covers the bridge piercing, you're good. And it did, kind of. Like, you could see it if you were like up close, but like it kind of distracted from it. So there were some days where I would wear glasses. Mouth piercings, yeah, I have to wear a mask. I'm trying to think what else. You could also just take them out, but the thing is, like, if you're in the healing process, you cannot take them out. You should not really touch it too much. So that's something to take into consideration. Um, yeah. So that's something, although a lot of jobs really don't care. Some of them do care. But that's another thing is like, I think you just should think about it like, I don't know, just go into it thinking that you will find a job that will accept you as you are, and you will find one. Because I feel like I did find jobs that like didn't care, that did not care. There were a few that I worked that like they just didn't care. So anyway, but that's something to think about. Um, Hole forever. Yeah, you'll have a piercing hole forever unless it closes. Some people do say that it closed for them. And then my last point, some may never heal, which we touched on that. But to go in further on that point, my eyebrow piercing, this one, has not healed fully. I do get irritation bumps. I still do get crusties. That's another thing. Once it's healed, you should stop getting crusties. I still get crusties on it. It still gets irritation bumps come and go. And the thing is, like, I just leave it. But the thing is, like, eyebrow piercings just do that sometimes. It's a surface, very just weird place to get it. I'm keeping an eye on it because I feel like it might reject or something because this one rejected. I think it's more so just like irritated though, more than anything. So yeah, and I guess it could size down. Do you see that? I guess it could size down. I absolutely could size down. Maybe that's the problem. I need to size down. Maybe I need to. I don't know. I think the problem actually comes in. See, here's the thing though. I bump it a lot. So I think that it made it never fully heal. But at the same time though, like, it should not be getting irritated. It shouldn't. So it's just, but most people with eyebrow piercings report that like theirs never healed either and they have problems constantly. So that's just kind of how it is. And that's just, it is what it is, guys. Okay. Sometimes it just never does. And you just gotta like deal with it. That's what I'm doing. I'm just dealing with it. I don't know. We'll see. I do get a lot of crusties there though. And it's kind of fun to pick them off. I'm not gonna lie. I literally will just like pick it off. But like, yeah. Anyway. So that is all for this video. If I come up with anything else, I will make a part two. But that's all that's like at the forefront of my mind. I'm so tired, you guys. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any ideas or comments or anything, any recommendations, suggestions on videos, let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Mwah.